Hello everyone. Before we start with the video, I want to say a couple of things. I am not a financial planner nor a financial advisor. I'm not FCA approved. I'm not approved by any institution that allows me to give financial advices. Nothing mentioned in the video should be considered as an investment advice nor guidance. Everything showed, talked, and explained is for pure and only educational purposes. The risk is in your own hands, and I always recommend trading on them accounts as that's literally the only way to not lose money in this market. Enjoy the video. Hello guys, good afternoon. Today is Thursday, July 8th. Going to be talking about today's trades and things of interest that I basically encountered today and I would like to talk about. The first structure that I wake up to is that we were basically pushing higher and we had just flipped and break structure. Actually, that's not what I consider a break, so is that. This thing that we have here, this whole push toward the upside, I sometimes at the beginning I thought that maybe price could easily push lower and basically react to one or two of these areas, right? So as you can see, we have price tap that, then we have price tapping that, then we have price basically tapping this whole thing. Didn't get to the 50, but it did. Hit this range itself. Then we have somewhat of a reaction to this, and that's basically the last reaction to the buy. So when you have a structure like this, which comes, the structure is pretty clear. I talked about this type of movements the other day, where you have a push, somewhat of a correction or retracement, and then another push. And normally that push is, both pushes basically are pretty similar. The stuff that I'm actually talking about is I don't even remember where I learned it or saw it, but basically it was something like this. When you have a push and then a enormous reaction like that, not reaction but a correction like that, or retracement, so what if a bearish flag, you basically expect to see this exact movement but on the other end, basically. So if you would have targeted something like this, you could have basically hit a pretty good target. Basically when I saw this structure, I was expecting nothing but for price to actually break this low, as it ended up doing. Then I checked on the 1 hour and I realized that we had, actually go there, that we had an area of interest right there, where price basically was kind of reacting. We do see that price has reacted to the 50% already, and it is kind of pushing higher. So it's a good confluence per se, but yeah, I don't know if it'll hold for the long term. So yeah, first structure that we encounter, I'm expecting price to break this low. First trade that I see, keep in mind that I got up, I woke up at 7 a.m. This is 7 a.m. I think I got on my computer somewhere around 10 minutes later, so 7 and 10. I realized that this was basically happening. I did have the opportunity to basically trade this, but yeah, I just didn't do it. I don't really like doing market executions. I feel like they're necessary in the way that I trade, so basically I left it behind, and would have been a pretty good thing to actually wake up to. We then have price continues to push lower. We have that this low is broken, so this is our new high, so we get a flip. Then this low is broken, so now we break that high, so this is a flip. We then have a break, so at this point we could have been looking for a buy, and that's what we will be talking about in a second. But we did have this potential sell right here that to be honest, I didn't have the balls to actually take this one, which would have ended up in a break even if I was lucky, because it was really close to target. I was thinking about taking it on the 50, target stop loss would have been 20, and target would have been 100, and well, according to this, I actually got a take profit, but I don't know. Then I probably went for a 2.5 pip stop loss then, and a 125 tick target. But yeah, I don't really remember. I deleted the draw as soon as it basically not worked out. So basically, what we have here, as I said, we have the flip. Have the flip after even tapping an area of interest, and then we have a break. So previously, for me, that was more than enough to basically just take a trade, right? So we are in the 1 minute time frame, price taps into a 1 hour area. We have a flip, we have a break, and we take that trade, right? And that could be profitable. In some cases, it can easily work. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you get something very simple, just like this. Price gets into an area, flips, mitigates, breaks, mitigates, continues to push higher, maybe comes back and mitigates again. And sometimes you get structure like this, where you first mitigate, do some random stuff around there, then continue to come back into the order block, and then create some structure that you can actually trade, and basically buy actually works out. If we go to the 5, we may encounter something that we could have traded as a buy. I mean, price here reacted to this, and now it's kind of reacting to this candle or this one. So it makes sense. The usual, mitigates, continues. At least that's what it's kind of working right now, but I'm not quite trying to illustrate what could happen. So yeah, here, as we did have liquidity right here, I was trying to get into this buy. I had an entry, if I remember correctly, to the 50%, which on Telegram, sorry, not on Telegram, on TradingView, I got mitigated, I got triggered, sorry, but on my broker, I actually didn't. I do have the buy limit, if I remember correctly. So we're looking for today, which is 8th, so until here. And today we have what are we looking for? A buy limit at the 658, and it's this one. As you can see, I did have the buy limit, but I was never really triggered. I deleted it at, oh, this is my broker's time, so I can't really compare it to TradingViews. But basically, I didn't get triggered. We did have a pretty good first impulse, but I basically just decided to delete the order. Here we had actually, as you can see, we do have a flip right here. Then we have a break. So this is an entry for me. And I had placed this entry because I was thinking about taking the buy and taking the sell. So when I have situations where you have confirmations for both the buys and the sells, I like to do that. I actually like to trade both of them. As long, of course, as I do have confluences for both of them. I basically decided to do that here, but if I'm not triggered on the buy, as an example, I won't trade the sell. And if I don't get triggered on the sell, then I won't take the buy, basically. Sadly, in this case, that didn't work. I was going for the open of the order block, which would have triggered me for sure. And basically, that would have worked out amazingly with a pretty good take profit. But it is the way that it is. I mean, I could have left the trade, but I kind of had in my mind going for both of them, and yeah, I've actually missed probably 3 trades on the past few weeks, just like this, where I was thinking of going for both. I wasn't triggered on the first, so I just deleted the second, and it's part routine, yeah, because it's something that I actually do all the time. Every time that I have the situation where I can actually take a buy and a sell, I go for both, and if I don't get triggered on one, then I don't trade the other one. But yeah, it is what it is. I kind of do want to change that because I don't want to miss opportunities as this, but at the same time, yeah, it's not simple to just change something just like that, you know. You gotta think about what you have to do. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. Okay. So we let it get a flip, we get a break. I had my entry on this one first, and price basically got away a little bit too fast, so I basically decided to delete that order. I kind of like this area. I can't really say for sure why, but I don't know, I just liked it, so I decided to go for that. This area is kind of just a sell to buy that basically cost a couple of breaks. That's as much as I saw, and I went for the 50 as the stop loss sort of a huge by going for the 25. Actually, would have been good, and I can't really say for sure why I went for the 50. Still though, man, I wouldn't. I would have price would have missed me anyways if I would have gone for the 25. As you can see here, we had a flip, mitigated, we had a break, so we did have the chance to actually take a sell here. If I remember correctly, I actually didn't. No, I didn't. I actually didn't. I did think about it, but I just didn't trade that. Here, I actually talked about yesterday about ranges and pauses just before breaks or major breaks or flips and stuff like that. And I saw this trade, but I've never had the courage to actually take a trade like this, to be honest, where you have, because as an example, if we look back, we do have a range right here, and I don't know, I really like this range. I also like this sell to buy. I like this sell to buy. I like this order block that we have right here, which basically comes from mitigation. But we have this pause that literally pauses just before this major break. And that pause basically, in my opinion, or the way that I see that I see pauses and stuff like that, it's just basically price taking a deep breath, and then basically a deep breath to basically gain the strength that they are missing to actually cause that major break, the flip, the break, whatever it's about to happen. And price came back to mitigate that and continue to push higher, right? After that, what I could have done is watch this flip, break, and we do have another pause right there. So you can see this one isn't actually bearish. It's just a candle, a bullish candle that moved very little compared to the open. But again, it's just a pause. This price just, as I like look at it or I understand it, it's just a pause just before the break, which is in this case a very minor break, but a break overall. So I did draw this, but again, not something that I would actually trade, as I see it as a very risky type of trades. If I would have gone for something here, I would have gone for this whole thing and probably for the 50, as it is a pretty huge area. So actually, let me draw like that. So yeah, we then continue to go higher. I drew that area. Oh yeah, this is what I talked about. Where we started, when I saw that we flipped, I checked what happened if price actually reacted to an important area or something like that. And I came to realize that we had such clean highs, the price had just nicked and now continued to push lower. What I said is that basically when you have something like that where price starts flipping or breaking structure towards the downside in this case, when you are basically changing a trend after tapping into an area or after doing something like take liquidity, it gives a lot of information about what could actually happen next. And in my opinion and experience is basically that price could continue to push lower. And it did for a little bit, as you can see. It was like a short-term sell that we had the opportunity to trade, but basically, yeah. So, let me delete that. The only trade that I actually took today that I was actually triggered in, right? I do think so, yeah. Was this one, which was a market execution because I didn't want to take this trade. And as you can see, it's actually just a pause before the break, as simple as that. And that's literally the reason why I didn't risk the full risk and why I actually closed it earlier than supposed. So basically, that was the trade. This was basically the target, which is a 1 to a 5. And price kind of reacted to nowhere, which is... I mean, if I was actually trading this as I should actually trade it with a sell limit in this case, and basically holding it towards the target, I wouldn't have been scared for this reaction as it's reacting to nowhere. We don't have a range, we don't have a pause, we don't have anything here that could tell us that price could basically just stop for a second or basically change trends, which in this case, as you can see, it does flip and everything, and then we have a break. So here we could have actually gone for a buy. But as it is based, that first movement is based literally on nowhere, and you can't really go for that. I mean, I don't like going for that. So yeah, but anyways, as it was a market execution, I did place a stop loss a little bit high, basically just to cover in case it wanted to go higher. I did have a sell limit here. When I saw that price was actually reacting to this area, that's when I actually decided to trade it. And well, price started pretty well into my direction. I closed it right here, as you can see, on 780. Well, not 88, it was 89, because I literally just checked it. All right. And that's where I closed it. It was a little bit less than 1%, 0.75 or something like that. And basically, yeah. So you can see price did come back later a little bit higher than that, so it would have triggered me out as a stop loss or break even if I was lucky. And if you actually check closely to this, price did come back and reacted. Wow, okay, didn't think it was that precise, but it reacted to the 50% of this buy to sell that we have. Of course, I wouldn't have gone for that just like that, just range. I would have gone for this, as I kind of did go, but when I had this profit, I just closed this trade because I really didn't want to go for that anyways. Yeah, this one really reacted well. What I did, later I did have to leave home, so I did miss out on this trade or this movement, but I did think that we could have a pretty good opportunity around this area. The thing is though that I would have gone for the extreme again, not to the 50% or anything like that of this, although it doesn't hit 50. Sometimes when I have such huge weeks, as an example, if I was going for the extreme of this area, I would have gone for this candle, just like this, and let's say that my entry was in the 50, then my stop loss would have been above this wick. So my entry is based on this, because if I based it on the full thing, then the entry is going to be too high. So that basically allows me to have a little bit more of a chance to actually get triggered. And then the stop loss just taking care, not taking care, but being careful that price can easily reach the high of that and still work out. But 5.6 pips of stop loss is not something that I do, so definitely would have missed that. We did get a buy opportunity later, but that was on my lunch time, so yeah, basically that's basically it for me. It was a pretty much a boring day. I think there were a lot of opportunities. I mean, we're talking about this trade that I can't really say for sure where I would have placed my trade and everything, but we had this. So that's 5R, simple 5R. If we were inside of this, I probably would have missed out on that, so there's no way I'm gonna count both. This sell would have been amazing. And when I was trading it, when I had placed my trade, my stop loss was actually somewhere around this area, as I was a little bit scared that price could basically reach out for this extreme, as we did have liquidity above that area, so I wasn't really that convinced for the trade. But this is something that I would have liked to go to, and as you can see, we would have missed the stop loss for very little. The take profit for very little. Then we do have liquidity up there, some really clean equal highs. As you can see, price then took and basically it did fall down a little bit. But basically I was interested in taking a trade on basically just above this liquidity. And actually it might would have worked out. I don't think it would have actually hit target or anything, but yeah, just fun to see. This sell, amazing sell. As I said, I do not really like doing market executions, and that's why I missed out on that one, and why I risked less on this one and closed it way earlier. But yeah, overall we ended up with a profit, so that's not bad. Could have been way better, so we still do have that to improve. But mistakes overall, I think I was a little bit scared. Psychology is not on point lately on these days, but that's fine. And on the other side, I think the analysis was overall pretty good, because even though I didn't take the areas, most of them were identified and thought as areas of potential reaction, right? And having a good psychology today, I could have traded most of these ones, including these two sells, which would have been amazing. I mean, I would have started the day with two take profits, and to be honest, two take profits at the beginning of the day for me are usually enough to just say, okay, that's it. I mean, I wouldn't really want more than that, so I will just quit for the day and come back later. Maybe come back 2 hours later to see if there's something interesting, but I most likely would have actually missed out or skipped out on most of the trades that I would have seen, as you have a 2% as early as 9 p.m. So 9 a.m. Sorry, so that's more than enough for a lot of people. So yeah, I think that's basically all that I wanted to mention in this video. I will be doing the markups later and posting the screenshots. I haven't been posting the screenshots because I haven't been doing the markups. The markups for me are actually something that I do on the weekends, so I can analyze the full week and basically check what I did wrong, what I did right, and draw up some conclusions. Basically, then continue to improve with my trading as well as I can, of course. So that's basically all for today's video, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.